What up, guys? This is Guido, the boss at Bout's Most Wanted Scammers. It is time for the monthly episode of Interrogation number 10. That's right, 10 months already since I started this YouTube thing. So, before I get down and dirty, if you're watching this on YouTube and if you're not a member of Bout's Most Wanted Scammers, go to Facebook, type in Bout's Most Wanted Scammers in the search bar, fill out all the questions, send a request, and update yourselves on yesterday's and today's Bout Scammers. Alright, interrogation, basically I picked 10 questions that you ask. You'll remain anonymous, and I will answer these 10 questions. And let's get started. All right. Question number 1. What is your favorite female wrestler? My favorite female wrestler will have to be a woman that is called the Wounded Owl Ronin Lufisto, or the hardcore anime Lufisto. Many nicknames that she has, but she's been in the business for a very, very long time. I think over 20 years she's been in the business. She's from Canada, so she's a Canadian, and I already met her when she came down to California, and I believe the city was Southgate, on a show from I think it's called Alternative Wrestling Shop or something like that, AWS, a while back. She's a hell of a wrestler. She's been in the indie scene for a very, very long time. She's always wanted to go to wrestle in the WWE, and they just don't give her a chance. So she's already up there, I think in her 40s. You know, it's kind of, she missed that boat ride, so she ain't gonna be in WWE, but she did make an appearance on, I don't know if it was TNA or AEW a while back, one of those. So that's pretty much it for her. She's still currently actively wrestling today. So, but yeah, Lufisto, hell of a worker. All right, question number 2. Can a scammer on your group be taken off the list if they develop a good reputation? No. Sorry. So there is a couple of scammers that are on my list that have developed a good reputation after they, scam somebody. But even though that they developed a good reputation, after a while, once you commit the crime, you're done. You're tainted. You're marked. So, in my belt group, anyway, you will remain as a good or as a be on the lookout if you were caught trying to scam, and if you turn around, decide to be a good boy or good girl, and develop a great reputation later. At least at Bout's Most Wanted Scammers, all it takes is one time to scam or one time to try to scam, and then you're marked forever in my group. So there's no way out of it. Question number 3: Tyson versus Paul. Who takes it? Going with Mike. Iron Mike Tyson, man. He still kind of has it, so I see him being victorious over Paul. So I think it's going to be interesting. Question number 4. The big ego is awesome. Are you willing to part with it? It's a big ego right up there. Am I willing to part with it? I don't know, guys. What do you think? I mean, this freaking thing is awesome. Fucking great detail. Beautiful etching. Like, everything is pretty much spot on. Am I willing to part with it? Don't know. If the price is right, I guess it can be yours. So, but I'm not in a hurry to sell. Shoot me an offer. Everybody's got a price. All right. Let's see here. That was question number 4. Question number 5. Vince McMahon, guilty or not guilty? Seems like don't know. I think my own personal opinion, again, I'm a guy that's gotta have evidence. So far, the accuser hasn't been able to really bring hardly any kind of hardcore evidence. So it's just all he says, she says stuff, and she was there sucking his cock for a long time, and all of a sudden now she wants to open up her mouth. It doesn't make any sense for me. But turned out to be that love letter thing is what's really gonna fuck her over. That they found that she wrote a love letter or letters to Vince McMahon, and she was, I guess she said something about like she was forced to write letters to him in that fashion. Well, how are you gonna prove that you were forced writing love letters to the guy that you're accusing? Because you're pretty much done. I mean, I think she shot herself in the foot on that one. That's not gonna help her out. So, but I'm all about evidence. So, is he guilty or not guilty? The way I see it right now, in my own opinion, I don't think he's guilty. So, question number 6. I see that you're a fan of XPW. You have 2 awesome deathmatch championship belts. What is there another XPW belt that you have in mind? Do I have another XPW belt in mind to be made? I'm not sure. I've been kind of eyeballing the XPW, the First World Championship. I know it was on for sale not that long ago. I think someone was selling it for like $300, and I kept my eye on it. I think there was some flaws to that belt that had to do with the side plates, which is why I didn't pull the trigger on it. But if I'm gonna get another XPW belt, it'll be the original World Championship belt from XPW, the original one. It doesn't have a whole lot of detail, but I'm a big mark for obviously XPW. I got the first version of the XPW King of the Deathmatch belt right there next to the mask, and then I have the second one there, and that is utilized today. So don't know, but it'll be the version 1 of the World Championship. All right, question number 7. Question 7. Is it true? Let's see. Reading the wrong question here. Okay, is it true that you were the one that gave Ben Walker the nickname Grandpa? You gotta go ask him. See if that's true. Yep, it's true. I was the one that gave him that nickname, so all the credit goes to me, I guess. But if you don't believe me, go ahead and ask him. I'm pretty sure he won't lie about that. So, well, one little side note on him is that I heard him say that I was the one that blocked him, which is not true. He blocked me, so for what it's worth, it doesn't really matter anyway. But yeah, ask him. All right, that was question number 7. Okay, question number 8. Here we go. Mark Maggard. Here we go. Bashed your group again by calling it fast food's most wanted scammers. What's his problem with you now? So, I asked this individual, well, show me evidence, like always. Sure enough, I was sent a screenshot, and that's what he said about my group. This was maybe today's May 1st. So this was about a week ago, or less than a week ago from today, according to the screenshot on the date there. I don't know. I don't know what's up with him, man. You know, the thing is, here's the thing with this guy. The thing is that what gets me is the day that I did the sit-down interview with Kevin Davenport, the interview that broke the belt world, right? Because everybody pretty much watched it. And if you didn't know who is Guido, you know now. But anyways, on that day, right before the interview with Davenport, I had a secret sit-down, few minutes with Mark Maggard. He wanted to discuss a thing, and what that was basically he wanted to bury the hatchet between Spanning the Globe, him and the guys from Spanning the Globe, and me. For those of you that don't know, before that day, I was going heads up with the guys from Spanning the Globe, and we were going back and forth, basically talking shit about each other, and that feud has been going on for a very, very, very long time. and Mark had told, I guess, Davenport that he wanted to, in a way, bury the hatchet, right? Enough with the beef. Let's move on from it. So we spoke about it, and we both agreed that we were not going to talk about each other and that we were going to leave each other alone. And I was okay with that. We agreed, and that was supposed to be the end of it. Was it really the end of it? No, right? There was another incident after that where Mark had mentioned me again in my group regarding a situation that I was in with another individual. It had nothing to do with Mark or anybody from spanning the globe, but he decided to talk about me on his podcast and in a way talked bad about me. So what happened? Went ahead, hit him up, let him know, hey, I thought we had agreed that we weren't going to talk shit to each other anymore, and that we were going to walk away from it, you know. That was that. Now we have this. So I don't know what is going on with you, Mark. I thought we had agreed. I thought we had an understanding that you weren't going to mention me, and I was not going to mention you. And clearly, this is the second time that you're mentioning me, and well, you're bashing my group again. So it's like, what's going on, brother? Like, let me know now. That if you don't want to continue on this truce, and if you want to resume bashing each other, let me know, you know, and we'll continue on where we left off. So I'm not the one that's bringing you up today. I brought you up because, well, you brought me up again in a negative light. So I mean, what else am I going to do? I can't. There's a lot of people out there that talk shit about Guido and my bout group, Bout's Most Wanted Scammers. And 99% of those people are not even on my radar. But when somebody makes a truce with somebody, and they agree that all this shenanigans and all this childish and immature shit talking was going to stop, and I actually believe that it was. This is the second time that I catch you, Mark, opening your mouth again and talking in a negative light. So where are we at with this, man? You know, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just let me know, man. Let me know if you want to go back to lighting that fuse of the shit talking, and then that way I could understand, you know, where you're coming from. And because, I don't know. I thought that we had an agreement, and obviously you have something else in mind. So I haven't talked shit about you ever since, or your group, ever since that we did this truce. What was it, a few months ago already? But this is your second time already after. It's like you know, I don't get it, man. Like, what are you trying to do here, man? Like, I thought you were serious. So I don't know, man. Let me know. Just let me know if you want to just fuck the truth and we go back. You know, we'll continue on with the shenanigans. Let me know. All right. All right. So that was question number 8. Question 9. Your thoughts on the CS incident about the Big Ego comparison review. Who is at fault? So, don't know a whole lot about that story. I had to look up what was that all about and found some very little information on that. I checked out the Big Ego bout review comparison from Classic Shields at another bout company, and read the comments and whatnot. So who's at fault in this thing? Well, there's faults on both sides, is the way I see it. Bottom line on this thing, because I don't want to get too deep in it, because it's none of my business, and don't want to elaborate more on this thing. But when it comes down to fault, again, it's on both sides. It's CS has some fault, and the customer has some fault. CS has some fault because they tried to have the customer change his mind on the review that was done, and you can't have a bout maker telling the customer to change their mind on a honest bout review. You can't do that, or telling him to, you know, take it down, or try to say, here's $50. And from what I understand, the $50 was a partial refund. And then there was another part where it said that, well, since we gave you $50, you know, take down that post or take down that review, or alter that review, or delete the negative part of the bout review. That's the only fault that I see the Classic Shields has on that. Every bout maker out there needs to deal with bout reviews, whether they think that they're right or wrong. If a customer thinks that, you know, they received a product that is not up to par, and if they do a bout review on it, then, you know, that's their opinion. The fault that I see that the customer done was, I believed he compared a bout that was, he bought the bout at a discounted price, and it's discounted for a reason, right? So obviously, with that being said, there is something more than likely, or highly likely, that there is something wrong with the bout when one says we have a bout at a discounted price. Well, based on my own experience, when it comes down, I've had bout makers try to sell me bouts and saying that, you know, we have this bout here at a discounted price. Me being in the game for a while already, I know, and I have asked before, well, why is this belt discounted, right? As soon as you hear the word discounted, or 70% off or 50% off on a belt, there's a reason why that's happening. This just doesn't happen because they have an overstock of belts. Majority of the time is, well, there's something wrong with the belt. So I have asked before to the belt makers, it's discounted. Okay, well, why is it discounted? There's something wrong with the belt. Any flaws? Does the belt have any flaws, or is there anything I need to know about the belt? Is there something wrong with it? I always ask right before I buy a belt. Every belt that you see here, there's some belts that I already bought that was already made, like the tag team championships right there, far right, far left there in the bottom shelf. Those belts I bought already. They were already made, and I asked the seller, is there anything wrong with those belts? And then they're like, yeah, the usual superficial scratches, on the plates, and show me pictures and whatever. Also that XPW here in the middle, right there in the middle, was a belt that was already made, and I believe the seller was Keith Keevler, I think. I apologize if that's not your name, but that sounds familiar. Keith Keevler had asked him, is there anything wrong with it? No, everything's good, real leather, blah, blah, blah. And everything was good on that belt. What else? That NWA World's title there, the Dome Globe, was another belt that I bought that was already made. And the seller there, I did ask anything wrong with that belt, and he said yes. The leather in the back, somebody took off the grommets there and added, they switched out the grommets, and he put these studs in there instead of the grommets. So what happened is that what's wrong with the strap in the back is that they had to rip through the backing in order to unscrew the grommets and then put these studs in. So that was pretty much the only thing that was wrong with that belt. But all the other ones, such as that wing deal in the middle, the $1 million, the Big Eagle, the crumb right there in the middle, those belts I had made. So, but even then, after getting it made, I did ask for pictures and all that, close up or video, etc., to see if there was any flaws on those belts. But when you hear that belt's discounted, more than likely there is something wrong with it. I believe, from what I read, the customer did not ask what was wrong with it. They just went ahead and heard discounted, belts being sold at a discount, and went ahead and paid for it. I would have asked, well, what's wrong with it? Why is it in discount? I think later on, after when shit hit the fan, the customer asked way later, well, you didn't tell me what was wrong with it. And the maker said, well, what is it? What is there to tell you it's at a discounted price? One of those type of things. But a person like me that's been buying belts for a very, very long time, being in the game for a very, very long time, I always ask, about that. So I see that as a flaw on the customer side. it was pretty important to know what is wrong with the belt, because I think that later on that a viewer or something like that, from what I understand, pointing out some scratches on the main plate of the Big Eagle that was not mentioned in the belt review. So it is what it is. So as far as for faults, there's faults on both sides of the situation. And let this be a learning lesson, basically, to all you guys that are watching this video, especially you newbies out there to the bout hobby. Always ask, if you're going to buy a bout from somebody, it doesn't matter if it's a bout maker or a private seller, whatever bout you're about to buy, always ask, is there anything wrong with the bout? Go into specifics, or just ask that question, is there anything wrong with the bout? And the seller or the bout maker, supposed to be honest and say, well, you know what, yes, there is something wrong with it. The leather has a scratch, or there's a large scratch on one of the side plates. The bout has some tarnishing. The bout has uneven plating, gold plating on the main plate, something like that, whatever. Always ask, is there anything wrong with the bout? Because if they say no, there's nothing wrong, and then the day you get it and you open it up and then you see that there's flaws on the bout, well, now you can throw that back into that seller's face and say, hey, this bout is scratched up, this bout has tarnishing, this bout, the bout leather is falling apart, and then you can ask for a partial refund. I don't know if you guys want to ask, if it's a bout maker, a discount on your next order, because for me, why would I want to go back to a bout maker that screwed up already once and might screw up again on the next order? So it's better just to ask for a partial refund if you guys find a problem, but they're supposed to be taking care of you, and being honest. So unfortunately, we do have a lot of bout makers and a lot of just sellers, private sellers, that they're not going to be honest because they want their money, right? So very important. Let this situation be a learning lesson to you newbies out there, and then to you guys that's been in the game for a bit. Also take this as a learning lesson, and anything that I have also been through myself, take all the stuff that I've been through as a learning lesson as well. So, but yeah, so that was question. What question was that? That was question number 9. And question number 10. So question 10 is another learning lesson. Says here, what is your opinion on the customer buying a re-leathered bout from Richard Simpson and wanting Romeo Anderson to replace or fix the strap? So that was another one where I wasn't too familiar in what happened, so I had to ask some questions and do a little digging and investigating on that. So basically what happened here was a customer a while back bought, I believe it was a belt or a strap from Richard Simpson restoning. And then some time went by. I believe it was a few months that had went by, and that belt that the customer bought was a re-leathered belt that was done by Romeo Anderson, a veteran in the belt hobby. And what happened was that the backing of the belt started to peel off, and the customer went ahead, spoke to Richard Simpson. Richard Simpson was pretty much saying, well, hey man, when I sold you the belt, there was nothing wrong with it. So the customer decided to turn around and contact Romeo Anderson, the re-leatherer, and basically wanting Romeo Anderson to fix the strap. And I don't think, from what I read, the customer wanted it, Romeo Anderson to basically fix it for free, because the belt was made by Romeo Anderson, the strap. So Romeo Anderson replied back, pretty angry towards the customer, pretty much saying that so many months that went by, and you're gonna come up to me with this issue, and pretty much saying that that the customer bought the belt from Simpson, and at that time there was nothing wrong with the strap. And time went by. Now all of a sudden there's something wrong with the strap, and now he's hitting up Romeo Anderson and telling him to fix the strap. And unfortunately for that customer, Romeo Anderson is refusing to fix that strap. And my thought about that is, well, he doesn't have to fix the strap, because remember, the customer bought this re-leather strap from a private seller, which is Richard Simpson. And according to Richard Simpson, and according to the conversation that I read, there was nothing wrong with that strap when the customer bought it. Some time went by, a few months went by. I think Romeo Anderson said it was about, you waited 6 months. 6 months went by, and all of a sudden you want to come up to me with a jacked up strap, and you want me to fix it. It ain't happening, So unfortunately for that customer, it's a done deal, brother. You're not going to. He ain't gonna fix that strap, and it's one of those things where if there was issues with the strap, before you bought it, it should have been pointed out to the seller to say, hey man, there's something wrong with that strap. I could see it in the pictures or in the video. Either refund me back that deposits, or give me a discount on it. But from what I read and from what I understand, is that there was nothing wrong with that strap to begin with when the customer bought it. So it fell apart on him 6 months later. Then he hits up, the original seller, Richard Simpson, and he's like, well, I sold it to you and there was nothing wrong with it. So, that has nothing to do with him. So customer contacts Romeo Anderson, says, hey man, you made the strap, and it fell apart, so you need to handle it, you need to fix it. And it's not the way it works, unfortunately. That's just not the way it works, man. And that's just it. It's just got the bad luck of the draw on that one. But again, another learning lesson for the customers out there watching this video, especially your newbies. Learn from that as well. If you buy a belt, from a belt maker or a private seller, and then, a month, few months, or even 2 weeks go by, and the belt starts falling apart, I mean, you're pretty much on your own with that situation, because when you first bought it, there was nothing wrong with it, and then all of a sudden, the belt turns to shit. After some time, you can't go back and be like, hey man, I want either you fix this belt or give me a refund or a partial. It's not the way it works. That's not the way. It's not gonna happen. No one's not gonna give you a partial refund. No one's not gonna give you a new belt because it fell apart on you months later. There's a couple of belts that I had made here after that I noticed now that there is some blemishes, like one of the belts there, the snap box, it's fading away. The snaps, the male snaps is fading away. It looks like at one point it was bright gold, the snaps, and then now it's like almost really dark brown looking. It goes away, and this is already, it's been about close to a year that this is happening, with I think 2 of my belts from 2 different makers, and I cannot go back to the belt maker and be like, oh, hey man, it's already been 7, 8 months, 9 months that these snaps are all fading away, man. You need to come and you need to fix this belt or give me a partial. It's not the way it works. It's not gonna happen. So again, let this another situation be a learning lesson for everybody out there on these things. So, but anyways, that was already 10 questions asked and answered by Guido, Bout's Most Wanted Scammers. Again, if you're not a member of Bout's Most Wanted Scammers, go to Facebook and become a member. Update yourselves. A lot of scammers still. We're at the peak of just so many scammers out there that you guys need to know about. You guys need to watch out who not to buy from. It's a bad time in the bout hobby to become a buyer or a seller. Unfortunately, scammers are just taking over the bout hobby. They're everywhere. They're even in the most strictest bout groups out there. They end up finding a way in and then trying to scam people. In some cases, has scammed people, brand new people in the hobby, and people that's been in the hobby for a while. People are getting scammed. So really, really important to become a member of Bout's Most Wanted Scammers. My page is being updated on a daily basis. That's all I'm gonna say to you guys. All right, take care and be safe out there. And again, learn from these situations that these other people have been involved in, and live and learn. Live and learn. Peace.